All right, look. Let me make sure my shit is cool. Make sure my shit is cool. All right. Yep. We're up. We're up. We're up. We're up. We're up. Like up the stream. Like up the stream. Hopping in here. We have a lot to talk about. All right. We have a lot to talk about. We have a good amount to talk about. All right. I'm not even gonna waste y'all time. I'm not even gonna, I'm not even gonna beat around the bush. I was gonna do this whole prelude. Was good. Make sure y'all let me know if y'all can hear me okay. First time streaming on YouTube in a while, and I got like a bunch of different stuff going on in the streaming software that I don't normally do because we're gonna be trying something new today. Kind of. All right, so you see the two books that are in my hand. How do I put this? We just gonna get into it. So I had an idea, right? As I was thinking about the sort of content I wanted to make this year, I realized that to a certain extent, I really did miss the feeling of making the manga viz, right? Mike Lowe, we hear you well. All right, at work tapping in for Jargon, Babel, Darwin incident. All right, so I was thinking about the manga vids and how I can kind of re-implement them into my I keep looking over here because I have a camera up right here. Let me actually unplug that because that camera wasn't working, right? But I was thinking about how I could re-implement the manga videos. Let me just turn this joint off, actually. All right, I'm looking over here. I keep thinking to myself how I can re-implement the manga videos into my content plan, and I came up with an idea. To make a long story short, because I don't want to waste y'all time, and I do really want to get into piloting this idea. The manga vids were different than my other vids in the sense that a lot of my other vids were very, basically all of my other vids are scripted down to the last word, right? The Bungo Stray Dogs vid that I just dropped that you should definitely watch after the stream, for example, was scripted almost entirely and performed and edited, so on and so forth. And the manga videos started off like that, but eventually, as I just got better and better at it and started doing it more and more, I got to the point where I kind of would just have the manga up on screen and I would kind of just yap and then make a video out of it. And as I was thinking about that skill I developed of just yapping through the manga, I began to formulate an idea in which I can bring that into like a live stream sort of form. But then I was sitting there, I was like, I don't just want to, sit there and, scroll through the manga page because let's be real, ain't no one trying to, sit here and watch me scroll through a manga page and yap. And so over the past week, 2 weeks, I've been working on a manner in which to bring almost the exact same experience of the manga vids into live form. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be piloting this idea. And seeing how well it works for y'all, how much I enjoy it. And if we enjoy it, we enjoy it. Now, Babel and Jargon were in the title of this stream. The manga we're covering today is not Babel or Jargon. Hey, you're over here. I keep forgetting you're over here. Give me a sec, okay? Give me a sec. Particularly Babel. I love this story. This might be one of my favorite mangas of all time. I do really, really want to get back to this. However, this is a long ass story. Jargon, also one of my favorites of all times. Really, really, really want to get back to this, but this is even longer and even riskier to make, content on since this shit gets wicked. So, So the manga we will be piloting today with this new idea that I came up with is, it's not a new manga, but it's new to the channel. I just got blue ball. Hey, don't click off. Michael, don't click off, okay? Have I ever failed you before, bruh? Have I ever bought you some whack manga, bruh? Give me like 10 minutes of this manga. I guarantee you that shit's gonna be gas, all right? But the manga we doing today is called Hatsuka Nezumi no Jaikan, which translates to Hour of Mice. It's by a mangaka named Kei Tomei, I think. You took so long on jog. I just read the whole thing. Why it get freakier and freakier? You know what I'm saying? See, Lufa got the right idea. We going into a new world. We going into it. King of Recommend. Come on, bro. But anyway, all that yap aside, we're gonna get into it. I'm excited. I really tried to like put this all together so we could really get the effect of the manga videos. And so, without any further ado, let's see how this goes. Let me know how the music and stuff sounds with my voice. Is the music too loud, too soft? How we looking? I'ma just hop right into this bit. If the music is cool, I'll see it in the chat. I might not be able to look at chat as much just because I'm gonna be talking about the manga so much. But you know what I'm saying? So here we go, bruh. Hour of Mice, all right? Here we go. Let me sip my water real quick. All right. Oh, hold on. All right. So, one more sip. We looking good. Say less. So we start off, right? We're looking out at the ocean, right? We're looking out like over this cliff at the sea. We see a little seagull flying by, whatever. But then we get a look at, who exactly's perspective that we're looking at. And we see like this young boy, right? He's in a school uniform. He's looking out of a school building, so on and so forth. He's presumably a student. Now this kid right here, this kid's name is Maki, right? And as Maki is looking out the window, this girl comes up to him like, yo, like, you good? What are you looking at? And Maki, nigga just aura farming. No reason to lean on the fucking side of the rail like that, talking about the sea. But the girl, she's just like, oh, okay. But then we get sort of a zoom out shot, right? We get sort of like a full page spread of the school building that the kid is in. And the kid is on like this big, box looking school building that's sitting on a cliff, right? It's like out at the edge of a cliff right near the sea. Now that I'm looking at it, it's like mad erosion and shit. So that's kind of crazy. But we see that this school is called Soryo Private Academy. So we get a look at what's going on inside Soryo Private Academy, right? And, at first everything looks normal, right? We got a bunch of kids in class doing, whatever, reading their books, doing their studies, so on and so forth. But as you look at this image, you'll notice that there's a few things that kind of make this school seem a little strange, right? Like, first of all, this teacher right here. Yes, the teacher is teaching on a whiteboard or a chalkboard or whatever, but if you actually look at it, he's teaching off of a screen, right? Like, he's on a TV screen teaching these students that are in person, almost on like some Zoom shit, right? Now, bear in mind, this manga was made in like, I think 2004. So, the idea of like online school, Zoom school, like that shit wasn't even really a thing yet. And so that's just, the first sort of strange thing that we got going on at this school that, is kind of eyebrow raising, but not that eyebrow raising yet. Anyway, we cut to, later in the day. It's around lunchtime, right? The students are outside. They're going to lunch. And they're like, yo, we hear, a student talking. They're like, yo, last night, did you hear like something weird outside, like some weird shit? And the other student, we don't really see their faces, but the other student is like, you know what, bro, now that you say it, I do remember some weird shit going on, bro. But they didn't even really think about it. And also this kind of confirms that this is a boarding school, right? If they're all hearing these same things in the school building at night. So it's like, okay, we're at a boarding school where there's no teachers, but sure, I guess. But then we look at sort of what's going on at lunch. Low-key lunch looks fire, bro. I'm not gonna hold you, lunch looks fire. Is that shrimp tempura with fries, bro? Rice on the side, a side of fruit. That's a W school lunch right there. But we get a look at Maki and his homie's lunch table. And Maki's homie, this dude named Rio, he's like, yo, have you seen the boy Natsumi today? Like I ain't seen him yet. Maki, he's just eating his food. He's like, damn, now that you mention it, I haven't seen bro either. We cut to later in the day, and we see a bunch of students gathered around this whiteboard, right? And on the whiteboard, we have a notice, like a little sheet that's pinned up, and it's like, notice, due to a violation of the school rules, the following student is to spend the next 3 days in the guidance office to receive personal instruction. This ruling takes effect immediately. And, it says Natsume's name under it. And so, okay, 3 days in guidance office for breaking a rule and, missing out in class instruction is kind of crazy, but sure, we'll let it slide. We'll let it slide. But then, the girl from earlier who the boy Maki was hanging out with, she turns around. She's like, damn, they got Natsume for 3 days. What could be that serious? What could Natsume have done? And Rio and Maki kind of just look at each other. And Maki's like, yeah, this nigga probably tried to go outside, bruh. And Rio's like, damn, yeah, that dumbass nigga, bruh, probably tried to go outside. Cut to the principal's office, okay? And we're kind of looking at things from Natsume's POV now, right? We hear this voice. It's like a modulated voice. And the voice is like, we're extremely disappointed in your conduct this time, Mr. Moroki. We get a look at Natsume. He's sitting in this chair, right? Mad stiff, like mad worried. He doesn't know what's going on, but he's like, I'm sorry, sir. Like, that's on me. I shouldn't have tried to go outside, so on and so forth. The dude keeps talking. And once again, he's talking to nobody, right? Like, there's nobody physically sitting there. We got a desk. We got a chair, but there's no one sitting there. So the whole room is set up like there's someone supposed to be there, presumably the principal, but there's no one there. So, the principal, he's talking. He's like, if you want to leave campus, you need to obtain a permit. Natsume tries to interject, but the principal's like, nah, bro, like, ain't no buts. Like, I understand you get curious about the outside world, but, you're not allowed to leave the building, and you know this. The principal then keeps, going on yapping, and I'm going to read this verbatim because it's a pretty important lore dump. But the principal's basically like, this school was created for children like you, children born with exceptional intelligence. The government supports us so we can provide you with a superior education. It's our responsibility to look after you and see that you're mentally and physically sound. And, basically the whole school's policies are built around achieving that end. And then the principal goes on. He's like, in fact, many of the people who have already graduated from this school, right, like your seniors, are excelling in the fields of politics and the economy and things of that nature. And so he's like, you're fortunate to be here, bro. So don't fuck up your situation. Now, to just pull back for a second, we got mad like weird shit going on, right? We got mad weird shit going on. So let's almost stack it all together to see what we got going on. First, we got a school building where there's essentially no teachers, right? A school building with no teachers, no staff. The students all live there in a boarding school style, but they're not allowed to leave. The school is funded by the government, but it also pumps out politicians and economists and people who get into influential type positions. We just got a lot of weird stuff going on. If you get caught trying to escape the school, you basically spend 3 days in prison. It's just a lot of weird shit going on right now, right? Whoops, hold on. All right, there we go. We cut back to Natsume, and he's still listening to the principal. The principal's like, look, if you want to throw away your life so far, if you want to throw away, the life ahead of you and go back to being a normal nigga, go back outside and live with society with all the normal people, yeah, sure, that's on you. You could do that, but, think about your decision before you do it. We cut back outside, right? And the girl is talking, and she's like, they say students who get caught trying to go outside, who break the rules, they say shit shit gets kind of wicked, right? I wonder if Natsume is going to be okay. Rio, cuts in. He's like, I heard if you, get in too much trouble, you'll be expelled from the school. But, Natsume ain't really that type of guy. He hasn't really gotten in trouble before, so he'll be good. He'll be good. The girl is like, I don't know, man. I heard some of the students who went into the guidance office and never came back out again. And then she's like, oh yeah, at least that's what the other girls were saying. I don't know. That's what they're saying in the girls' dorm. And Maki's like, okay, bro, come on, stop with the rumors. No, that's not what's going on. Don't you think if people went disappearing from this school, something else would kind of, something would happen, right? Somebody would come, get in the mix, somebody would put a stop to it. There'd be a big fuss about it. Suddenly, Maki, I was about to say Natsume, Maki feels something weird in the back of his head, right? The girl, she's like, yo, you good? What's the matter? And he's like, it's nothing. I'm good. But it's just, the back of my head just went numb for a second. And the girl's like, okay. So these students that get expelled, where do they even go? Like, do we even know what happens to them since we've been in this school our whole damn lives? Like, what happens to someone that's expelled? And, Maki and Rio, neither of them kind of have an answer to it, but Maki basically suggested they just go back to their parents' house. Then shit starts getting mad, like really weird, bro. Maki's like, but damn, now that I think about it, I don't even know my parents' faces anymore. And, Rio's like, I mean, we'll probably go home one day, but if, we meet our parents after fucking 16 years of having not seen them, like, how do we even talk to them, bro? We barely know these people anymore. We cut to Natsume, and they low-key have bro in the pen, bro. I don't know why they call this shit the guidance office. This is just a straight-up prison cell, like, simply put. It's a prison cell, bro. There's no other way to put it. But he gets told he has a visitor, and we come to find out the visitor is Maki, who I guess is coming to check on his homie. Natsume's happy to have a visitor, and Maki's like, yo, what's good, Natsume? We screaming free Natsume out there. How you doing in here, buddy? Natsume's like, I mean, shit, it's boring, but, there's nothing really to do. I guess it could be worse. But then he asks how May and Rio are doing. And May and Rio are like the dude and the chick who Maki be hanging out with. And, Maki basically just tries to cheer him up, right? He's like, look, dude, you'll be out in a second, It's only 3 days. By the time you get out, bro, you'll be able to get out. You'll be back free. You'll be back in class. You'll be back, working on your novel. Apparently, Natsume is working on a novel. He's like, yeah, well, you'll just get back to life as usual, basically. And, he tries to suggest that he works on his novel while he's... I wonder if he gets parole. He tries to suggest that he works on the novel while he's, like, in the prison cell. But, Natsume's just saying, he can't really focus while basically in jail, which, yeah, kind of makes sense. I wouldn't be able to focus much if I was in school jail either. So, yeah. But, Natsume's like, I didn't even mean to do all that, bro. Like, I wasn't trying to run away from the school. I just wanted to see what was on the other side of the mountain. Like, it's not that deep. And Maki is like, look, bro, we'll graduate from here in 2 years. And, then we'll get to see what's behind the mountain, basically. We'll basically get to see what's actually going on. We cut to, a little bit later, right? Maki's reporting back to his homies after his little visitation with Natsume. And the girl, May, her name is, she's like, yo, how's Natsume doing? And, he's like, I mean, he's bored. And Rio's like, of course he is, bro. Like, what else would he do in there? And, we kind of get some more exposition. They're talking as they go to class. I think Rio is like, we've been living inside these same walls since we came here at the age of 3. And, even though I don't hate the life that we live here, like, even though it's cool, I can't help but wonder what the outside world looks like. And, Maki's like, I mean, yeah, we've read about it. We study it, so on and so forth. And but, me personally, I'm trying to see it with my own eyes. And, May, she's, she kind of has trepidation, right? She's like, I don't know, man. The outside world, it seems kind of scary. I'm not really feeling that shit, bro. I'm not really feeling that shit. Rio, he's like the kind of like the stand-up individual, right? He's like I don't even know how to say it. He's kind of like not the teacher's pet, but, he's the more stand-up type of guy. And he's like, look, guys, we can, speculate all we want, but we're not getting out of here. And so once we get out of this, once we graduate from high school, basically, we'll be put through these integration programs so that we can go live in the real world. And so we'll get to see the outside eventually, right? He's basically trying to, give them a little glimmer of hope. Maki's like, but shit, bro, you not curious about the outside at all? And Rio's like, look, bro, it's not that I'm not curious. All right, I'm just as curious as the next guy. But like, come on, bro, we have a school policy to follow. We can't just tweak out and, let's try to escape from the school. All of a sudden, that nigga Rio, bro, like his head starts tweaking out, right? He starts getting migraines and shit. Okay, that's weird as hell, right? Because the boy Maki was just getting numbness in the back of his head. Now the boy Rio is getting migraines when he's talking about trying to leave the school. That's weird. But, yeah, they're like, yo, you good? And Rio's like, yeah, I'm good, bro. It's just my usual little migraine type shit. Like, I'm good. I'll probably just go to the nurse's office and take a little rest, okay? So, Maki, he tries to head to the nurse's office, right? And, the nigga Rio, he's like, yo, gang, why are you coming to the nurse's office with me? I know how to get here myself. And that boy Maki's like, I feel that, but look, bro, I'm trying to see Miss Otaki. I haven't been to her office for a while. We get to the nurse's office, right? We see Miss Otaki, and I'm not trying to lie, bro. I see what type of shit he was on, bro. Because think about it. Bro. This nigga, he basically, bro, they got like 10 staff in the whole school, bro, like lunch ladies, nurses, the people who have to be there in person, they're in the school. But apart from that, this nigga never seen an adult woman in his whole life, bro. So of course he trying to just slide by the nurse's office real quick just to go see Miss Otaki, bro, little horny ass nigga. But they get to the nurse's office, right? And she's going through sort of the routine of like checking up on Rio. And she's like, I don't see a fever. And Rio's like, yeah, it's just my usual migraine. This is nothing new, basically. Which is weird, right? If you're having migraine so often that it's nothing new, it's definitely a medical problem. But, we'll just add that to the long growing list of weird ass shit about this school. And give me 1 second. I'm going to change the thumbnail and title of this stream real quick to more accurately reflect what's going on. Give me like 30 seconds. I already have it set up. I forgot to change it before I started yapping. But what we thinking so far, bro? What we thinking about that jump? What we think about the jump? Any thoughts, theories, or predictions about what might be going on? Damn, I forgot what I had that title being. Give me a second, just fixing this up for... Hold on, And also, this is going to be a VOD, right? I'm going to make this a VOD so that y'all can go back and watch it. Like up the stream, by the way. So that if you've missed anything, then, you'll still be cool. You feel me? All right. Let me change the thumbnail. Just give me a quick sec. I'm going to look at what y'all are saying in a sec, and then we're going to get right back into it. All right. Cool. Now the title and thumb actually accurately reflect what's going on. Or at least it should. Like up the stream if you haven't already. And let me... All right, let's get back into it. So yeah, he's having these migraines. He doesn't really know what's going on. But the migraines are frequent enough that it's basically standard at this point. It's something that he just kind of deals with. So, yeah, the nurse is like, you go get some rest, Rio. Maki, I don't even know why the fuck you're here. You go back to class, nigga. Niggas love to try to go to the nurse's office to skip class, bruh. Even these kids who never been outside, bruh. Still trying to pull the same shit, which is hilarious to me. But yeah, Maki goes back to class, right? But as he's walking outside the nurse's office, right, he cuts the corner, he turns the corner, but he turns around and he sees this girl. Now, this girl is strange, right? For one, she's with an administrator, okay? There's very few administrators in this school. So that on its own, like, kind of adds this level of mystery and intrigue to this girl. But also, you got to remember, These niggas have been going to school together since they were 3 years old. So if there's a new girl, quote unquote, then that shit is weird, right? You know, if you're living with the same people like for all your life and then suddenly a whole new person gets introduced into your world, you're gonna be a little on edge, right? You're gonna be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? But Maki looks at this girl, right? And I'm not gonna lie, but you could tell this nigga never talked to a girl before in his life besides May, because look at this nigga's face. But she kind of looks back at him, right? Kind of glares at him. And Maki's just like, yo, who the fuck was that? Like, is that a new person? What's going on? We cut back to the nurse's office. You know, my girl, Miss Otaki, over there filling out documents with her little pixie cut. But Maki, he's in bed, right? And he's like, Miss Otaki, niggas start trying to flex, right? Start trying to flex his intuition. He's like, I have a feeling it'll rain soon. And Miss Otaki's like, it'll rain? What do you mean? It's sunny outside. And that nigga Maki, you know he on his fucking anime character shit when they start holding their head like that. Niggas swear he cold. He like, I don't know. I just know it. Somehow I know it's just going to rain. Every time I have a headache, my senses sharpen. Now, jokes aside, right? Again, weird as hell, bro. Weird as hell that every time this nigga gets a migraine, his senses sharpen to the point where he can predict the weather. That's crazy. That's crazy. But Miss Otaki, she just kind of like, whatever. But, you know, that the Rio seems pretty adamant on his idea that it's going to rain soon. And so I don't know what makes him think that, but he seems pretty dead set on believing that it's going to rain soon. Cut to a bit later, and it's raining. Of course it's raining. But we cut to Maki, who's in class, and, you know, he's still kind of thinking about this girl that he saw, right? He's thinking about, like, sort of the glare that she gave him, and he's like, those eyes, like, something seems familiar about that girl, her look. Something seems familiar about her, but then he's thinking about it, he's like, but then again, I've never seen her in the school before, so I don't know what's going on. She can't be from the middle school division. She's not from the high school division. Who the fuck is this new girl, and why does she seem familiar? And yeah, he's just kind of wondering, like, yo, like, who is she? And, you know, he's thinking about her for so long that by the time we cut back to, you know, out of his head, it's lunchtime again, right? Niggas sitting there at lunch thinking about the girl. May is like, yo, you good, gang? You've been spaced out all day. And Maki's like, yeah, I'm good. It's nothing. We cut to the girl, and she's in the principal's office now, too. The principal's talking to her, right? We still don't see this nigga. He's still talking through, like, his camera microphone setup, damn near on a live stream like I am. But he's like, I didn't think I would see you at this school again, Kiriko. So, you know, it is basically confirmed that Kiriko had been at this school before. Kiriko, she doesn't say anything. She just stays quiet. And, you know, the principal goes on. He's like, I hope you know you have to be re-educated if you want to come back. So we're preparing a special curriculum for you that you'll take in addition to your regular lessons. So, yeah, you're going to have to handle that. Once again, she says nothing. The principal's like, anyway, now that we got all the formalities out the way, you want to talk to me? You want to tell me where you've been these past 12 years? Nothing. And the principal's just like, all right, if you don't want to talk, you don't have to, but I'm going to find out sooner or later. So, you know, that's on you. We cut to that night, and Kiriko is getting introduced to her room, right? They basically gave her a whole room to herself, which is low-key kind of clutch, right? Because everyone else has to share a double room. That's why they got bunk beds. But they gave her a whole room to herself. The administrator who's showing her around is kind of just giving her the basic rundown. He's like, breakfast is at 7, or breakfast starts at 8, you know, class at 8:30, whatever. Just the general rundown of how things go at this school. And, you know, once again, she's still not saying nothing, just dead silent, not doing anything. She looks around the room, puts down her ID card on the table, and she goes and looks out the window. She opens the window up. And as she's looking out this window, she utters the name Nagi. Cut to later that day, and nobody in this school building has any type of social skills, bruh. They're literally sitting there before class, just staring at the new girl, bruh. Staring at her, bruh. Not uttering a single word, just looking at her. She's just over there trying to read her book or whatever. I guess catch up with her studies since she's new, but yeah, they're just kind of sitting over there staring at her. Maki and them, Maki and Natsume, they freed Natsume, by the way. Natsume free. All right, shout out Natsume. He did his time. He did his bid. Now he's out. But Natsume, he comes, to class, and as Maki sees the girl who's sitting there, he kind of gets surprised a little bit. He kind of gets shocked and, remembers her from yesterday, their little brief interaction in the hallway. Maki says nothing, and, he kind of just like, who's that? Almost trying to pretend like he never seen her before. And May is like, she's a transfer student. Ryo's like, yeah, we've never had a transfer student from the outside world joining us in the inside of her before. Like, this is uncharted territory. And he's like, you sure she's not like a middle school grade skipper that came from the middle school and is in the high school now? And May is like, no, she can't be a grade skipper. Like, I don't know if this is like glazed, but basically she determined she can't be a grade skipper because she's too pretty, that if she had been a grade skipper, May would have remembered her somehow or something along those lines. I don't know what May is trying to get at there, but she's basically saying that she doesn't recognize her and she would recognize her if she was a grade skipper. Maki, he's like, from the outside. And then, he's thinking, he's like, no, bro, no way she's from the outside, because I swear up and down, I've seen her before. Like, I remember those eyes. I swear she was at the school once. Maki starts rubbing the back of his head again. May is like, Maki, is something wrong? And Maki's like, no, I'm good. And we get kind of a closer look at May. I think this is one of the first time we've seen like the full of her face without her little emo cut covering her eye. And we see, I put a little arrow there to remind me, otherwise I probably would have forgot it. But we see that May, for some reason, has like a pale eye. Or like, she has like heterochromia on some weird shit. And so, yeah, again, on its own, having heterochromia in anime isn't like all that crazy, like it's happened before. But with, taking into account everything else weird about this school and all these other weird bodily conditions that everyone else is having, this is, another eyebrow-raising coincidence that we have one guy who can, predict the weather, a girl who has heterochromia. It's just weird. It's just weird. Wait. Yeah. Okay. I thought I was speaking for a sec. Ryo is like, you said she was at this school a long time ago. Like, nah, you have to be tweaking. That can't be true. And, May is like, yeah, that's not right. I don't remember her. And Maki's like, y'all, you gotta believe me. I've seen her at this school before. Like, we were all in the same class, bruh. Whole time, they having this whole conversation right in front of her, bruh. Like, she's not like 3 yards away. And, yeah, she's just sitting there, basically ignoring them. I'm sure she could hear them. But Maki thinks to himself, he's like, I know she came from the outside. She's not from the school. But I swear she was at this school before, bro. Like, no doubt about it. He is 100% certain that she has been at this school before. And he's thinking to himself. He starts rubbing the back of his head again. He's like, gang, why every time I try to remember something, the back of my head goes numb, bro? Like, the back of my head starts tweaking. That's mad weird. Jay Creates, thank you for the super chat, bro. Thank you for the super chat. WJ Creates in the chat, bro. But yeah, he's like, why every time I start thinking about like the past, every time I try to remember something, my head gets numb. That's just mad weird. We cut to lunchtime. God damn, glitchy ass shit. We cut to lunchtime, and once again, they getting their good eats. Low key, I'm getting hungry. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm getting mad hungry right now. Like, I might have to end this a little early, get me my little dinner. But we're at lunchtime, and my boy Maki, okay, he locks in. W Maki. I thought he couldn't talk to girls. I was wrong, bro. Nigga pulls up, boom, puts his tray down in front of her. He's like, hey, I'm not gonna lie, she's hating, bro. She gives this nigga the evil eye. He's like, yo, your name is Hinatsu, right? I'm gonna just call her Kiriko. I'm mainly using first names when I do this retelling. But he's like, hey, your name is Kiriko, right? I'm Maki. Nice to meet you. He's trying to introduce himself. Be cordial. But then he starts scaring the hoes, right? He's like, look, not to be like weird or anything, but you were at this school a long time ago, weren't you? She gives him that look again. Maki's like, mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember your eyes. Okay, bro, like this. You know what? I'm gonna let him rock, but He being weird right now, bruh. He being weird right now. Anyway, she's ignoring him, right? She's just eating her food. And he's like, I can't imagine I'm the only one who remembers you from the past, but I wonder why no one else has said anything. Like, I seem to be the only one acknowledging that you were at this school before. Now, suddenly, for the first time in, I think, the whole story, Kiriko speaks. She's like, hey, she picks up this little, like, cup. It's a cup full of pills. She's like, what do you think these are? Maki's like, they're pills. You know, they're like our vitamins and supplements that we're supposed to take with our daily meals. You know, just regular health type shit. She picks up one of the pills out of the little cup, and she's like, since when have they had this red capsule? Maki looks at the capsule. He's like, red? I don't see a red capsule. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he kind of looks at it some more. He's like, now that I'm looking at it, I can't really see the color clearly. But anyway, why are you asking about the pills? The girl gets up. She's like, you know what? Forget about it. It's nothing. Forget it. Maki's like, whoa. Like, ain't no forget about it, bro. Like, you had to have brought that up for a reason. What's going on? And the girl is like, you know, it's those pills that have caused everyone here to forget me. And on top of that, they're probably responsible for your color blindness as well. Maki's like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? And the girl turns around. King Crimson, chill out with the Diddy jokes, bro. You being weird. The girl turns around and she's like, this place. See, nigga done fucked up the whole reveal, bro. Now we gotta run that back, bro. The girl turns around and she's like, this place isn't a school. It's an experimental facility disguised as a school. The next day, class is presuming as usual. You know, Maki's walking around through the hallways, so on and so forth. You know, he's just kind of looking around when suddenly he hears someone call out behind him. It's May. You know, May is like, yo, Maki, you good? You looking for someone? Like, what's going on? You've been acting weird. And Maki's like, huh? Nah, I'm good. Yeah, nah, nothing's going on. And, you know, he's kind of thinking to himself. He's like, why hasn't she shown herself since that time? Like, where the fuck is this girl? We get a flashback, right? You know, she's telling him that this is actually an experimental facility disguised as a school. And then we get a continuation of, you know, that conversation, because we got cut off last time, right? But we get a continuation of that conversation. And Maki's like, hold on, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean it's an experimental facility, bruh? And Kiriko, she's like, nah, I'm just trolling. And she just walks away. But we cut to, you know, back to the present, and they got a whole fucking convenience store in this school, right? This is how bad it is. This is how down bad these kids are, bro. They can't go outside. They have to shop at a convenience store that's within the school. But Maki and May are in the convenience store, and, you know, they're just chopping it up, blah, 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 just talking, just hanging out. And while he's in the convenience store, he sees the girl. You know, he tries to run up to her, right? You know, nigga completely ignores May, sees Kiriko, tries running up to her, grab her shoulder, come to find out, it's not even Kiriko, bro. It's just some random other black hair girl. And now he done scared the hoes again, bro. Nigga's a master hose scarer. But the girl's like, yo, you know, they all know each other, right? Since they all been at this school with each other since they were 2, 3, whatever. So they all know each other. So she's like, yo, Maki, what the fuck? Are you good, bro? And he's like, oh, my fault. I thought you were someone else. Yeah, my fault. I'm tweaking. Starts rubbing the back of his head again, right? Head going numb. You know, May is like, yo, Maki, you've been acting real weird lately. And he's like, yeah, I know, that's my fault. But then we get a look at Kiriko, and she kind of witnessed this whole interaction from, I guess, some window that's above the convenience store. I don't really know where she is in the building. I don't really know the building layout yet. But she witnessed the entire interaction. Let me sip my water real quick. So they're walking out the library, not the library, excuse me. They're walking out this little convenience store, this little store that they have inside the shit. And Maki is like, May, you look kind of pale. Are you feeling okay? And, you know, apparently, come to find out, May is like chronically ill, right? Like her looking pale and sickly isn't anything new. in the grand scheme of just, having been with her since she was 3. And, he's like, I know you always kind of collapse because of your sickness. Are you good? And, excuse me, May is like, yeah, I'm good. That collapsing shit was from when I was a kid. Like, I'm fine. Maki's like, all right. And they basically end up going in their own separate directions because it's class time, right? They got to go to separate classes. So Maki, he's going to his class, right? Minding his own business. When suddenly, goddamn Kiriko just speed walks by him, does that same expression again, and just walks by him without saying anything. Now Maki, I'm not gonna lie, this is some simp shit right here, bro. He sees her, she like cuts into the library, and Maki, without a single like ounce of hesitation, just follows her into the library, bro. This nigga over here. But he follows her into the library, and yeah, all of a sudden he can't find her in this library. He doesn't know what's going on. She just disappeared. He's looking around the library, going around the shelves, trying to find her. Can't find her. But eventually he hits this corner, and Kiriko comes up behind him like, what do you want? What do you want with me, bro? Like, why do you keep following me? Maki's like, oh shit, my bad. And he was surprised by her, right? He didn't expect her to be back there. And so, he didn't even really know what to say. All of a sudden, Kiriko's like, you know what? We can't talk here. Let's get out of sight. Maki's like, out of sight? What are you talking about? And, we get a look at a camera, and basically she's implying that there's too many cameras. She's trying to be off the grid on some shit, right? She doesn't want to talk about this where they're being monitored. We cut back to Rio, and, apparently, he's finally feeling better now, right? He's finally feeling, I guess, willing to go back to class, just after his weather prediction, migraine or whatever. And so, yeah, Miss Otaki frees him back to class, basically says, like, you're good, you can go back. But as he's leaving to go to class, May is coming into the nurse's office. That sickness that I was talking about, how May is like chronically sick, has anemia, whatever. Yeah, she's coming to the nurse's office for her anemia. And as she's leaving the nurse's office, she's like, Rio, please don't tell Maki that I'm here. Like, I'm just not even trying to tell him about that. We cut back to Maki and Kiriko, and they're in the library. And Kiriko's like, so what's going on, bro? Why do you keep following me? Why do you keep being weird? What do you want? Maki's like, yo, what do I want? I want you to elaborate on that shit you were saying the other day when you were saying this is an experimental facility. And Kiriko's like, I told you I was trolling. And Maki's like, nah. Don't try to switch up now, bro. I know you weren't trolling. Like, cough up the information. What's going on? And then he goes on. He's like, it's not just the fact that I can remember you. I just have a feeling that there's something off about this school. He starts rubbing the back of his head again. And he's like, I feel like I've forgotten something important. However, every time I try to remember, like, what's going on, every time I try to remember you, every time I try to remember what happens at this school, I just can't. Like, my brain just cuts off, bro. My head goes numb. She looks at him, right, almost like she's trying to analyze, like, whether or not to trust him. And he's like, back then you said that everyone here forgot about you. That must mean you've been at this school before, right? Like, you basically low-key confirmed it. Finally, Kiriko comes clean. She's like, you're right. I've been at the school before. You got me. She goes on to explain more about her situation. She's like, I ran away when I was 5. Now, Maki's kind of like, he does a little anime character. And she's like, I ran away when I was 5. I don't really know what I was feeling, but I just had this strong feeling that I couldn't stay here. Maki's like, is it because this place is an experimental facility like you claim? And Kiriko's like, yeah, that's exactly. And she's basically like, yeah, I know they tell y'all that this is some government facility where they're supposed to be bringing up upstanding individuals. Paranormal, you're about to catch a ban, bro. Stop being weird in chat. Same with you. Shh. Everybody gooning right now about to catch a ban, bro. Anywho, she's saying that it's a governmental facility, right? This is what they tell y'all, but no, this is not a governmental facility. And, basically don't buy into the hype, right? They're lying to you. And no, these characters are not 18. They're like 16, bro. So now y'all are weird. Anywho, now she goes into like what's actually going on with this school, right? She's like, hey, basically what's happening is, I'm just going to read this off the page because this is like an actual kind of important lore dump. But she's like, the government sold this facility to a private sector company more than 20 years ago. And so basically, everything they tell you about the government running this school, that's a lie. The government doesn't run this fucking school. A private company does. The name of this company is Narusawa Pharmaceuticals. It's a drug company. They produce drugs, and they produce those pills that come with your daily meals. Basically, she explains that it's an experimental facility where they test unapproved drugs on the students. And, they basically use the students as like lab rats to gather various data and just make sure that, everyone is, they're experimenting on the kids, basically. Like, there's basically no other way to put it. They're experimenting on these kids. We get a look at May. And May, she's talking to Miss Otaki. She's like, bro, my body, it should be stronger now than when I was a kid. Like, why am I still dealing with this anemia? Why am I still passing out all the time? I feel like this shouldn't keep happening to me, and this shouldn't be happening to me. And, Otaki tries to cheer her up. She's like, don't worry, you've become stronger, like, and you're only going to get more stronger as time goes on. Basically just, giving her platitudes, essentially. And, May is like, okay, but will I also be cured from this pale skin and hair of mine? And, Otaki, she goes quiet for a second, but she's like, probably, which, basically means she doesn't know, bruh. No one's trying to hear a doctor say probably. And so when you really think about the implication, though, with May, it's low-key crazy, right? Because she's at a school where they're testing experimental drugs on her, and as a result, she's sick. And she just has to stay sick at this school as they continue to test these drugs on her. Insanity. But we cut back to the library, and, I was about to say Otaki. Kiriko is continuing to explain how these drugs work, what's going on. She's like, those drugs you take, they produce side effects. And the fact that you can't see the color red is probably one of those side effects. She goes on, right? She's low-key yapping, right? But she goes on, she's like, no one here remembers me. And that's probably because I was deemed as insignificant information. And thus, they basically deleted me from y'all's memories with the drugs. And she's like, one of the pills y'all take basically manipulates information storage within the brain. And yeah, she, again, still yapping. She's like, for more than 20 years, the company that actually runs this school, they've been putting a great deal of energy into the development of these drugs. They're doing all this research on y'all with these drugs. And, the purpose is probably the artificial creation of prodigies, with this school being their testing ground. So basically, they're testing drugs on these kids to kind of make, like, super kids in a way. Maybe not like full-on superpowers, but like, you know what I mean? Not Maki. Rio has enhanced perception. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're trying to figure out how to artificially engineer prodigies, essentially. Maki's like, okay, yeah, that's crazy. Everything you just said is crazy, but I can't believe it, bro. I don't think I believe it. None of this makes sense. You're tweaking out right now, bro. This can't be happening. And, he basically, he's still kind of drinking the Kool-Aid, right? He's like, there's no way they would allow this type of facility to exist. And, even if they did, it would definitely be shut down by now, right? Like, it has to be. And, Kiriko's like, are you sure about that? Who's to stop them? The government? Shit, the government's probably interested in making super kids, so, what if they just kind of turn a blind eye to this facility? Maki, and then she starts really fucking with bro's head, right? Maki's sitting there like, stunned, and she's like, shit, what if everything they told you was a lie? What if you don't even have parents or relatives anymore? What if none of the students here are even registered as citizens, and y'all are all just off the grid? Nobody even knows y'all exist. She then goes on to explain some more shit, bro. She is lore dumping right now. But she explains that basically this is like an extraterritorial military installation, which basically means that this facility is owned by the military, right? This land is owned by the military. And, you know, she alludes to a war that happened. We don't really know about this war, but if we're saying that this manga takes place at the time it was written, like 2004-ish, then this would be a fictional war, right? Because if this facility came up 20 years ago, in 2004, that would be like, what, 1984? I don't think Japan was at war in 1984, so I'm pretty sure this is a fictional-ass war that is being alluded to here. Maybe we get into it later, maybe we don't. Now, Maki, he's just stunned. He's like, yo, what the fuck is this that I'm hearing right now? What is going on? And, you know, old girl, she's like, anywho, I'm busting out of this bitch again. Like, I'm not staying here. Hell the fuck no. I'm busting out of here. And, you know, yeah, so she's basically, hold on, trying to stream real quick. Give me a sec. All right, there we go. But yeah, she's like, yeah, I'm busting out of here again. And she turns to Maki and she's like, and I need your help to do so. You know, she kind of touches his shoulder. Now Maki, he's like, hold on, bro. Help you with what? And, you know, the girl kind of starts hinting at her plan, right? She's like, look, the main building stairwell is on the roof. Meet me there at 11 o'clock tomorrow night, and I will fill you in on further details. I'm finna bust out of here. And then she kind of just turns around. She's like, anyway, see ya. She stay walking off without really like saying anything. She stay walking off like, I swear she be aura farming, bro. But she tries to walk off and Maki's like, whoa, where do you think you're going? Like, I didn't even say I wanted to help you. Hell, I didn't even say I believe any of this shit you're saying. The school is a governmental facility. You expect me to just automatically believe that? She's like, look, bro, you don't gotta believe me if you don't want to. I only told you what you asked for the answers to. And so now that you've heard them, you know, now that you're already tapped in, I might as well have you help me. But, you know, don't worry. Like, I'm not going to get you in trouble, bruh. You know, you're good, bruh. You're good with me. And then she's like, she basically little bros him a little bit, bruh. She's like, your reality only exists within inside this school. You don't know about the outside world. I know about the outside world. And then she turns to him. She's like, let's run away from here together. Maki's like, huh? She's like, that's what I said back in the day when I escaped the first time. But yeah, you probably don't remember that. And she just walks off. Maki's like, back then? What the fuck is she talking about? We cut to Maki's homies, Natsume, Mei, Ryo. They're all outside, right? They're like, yo, where is this nigga Maki, bro? Like, is he in the cafeteria? Like, where the fuck is this nigga, bro? Is he ditching us? And, you know, as they're coming down the hall in one direction, Kiriko is coming down the hall in the other direction. And as Kiriko passes Ryo, you know, he gets his one little anime character. He kind of shudders a little bit. He's like, yo, what the hell? He turns and looks at her. He's like, what the fuck is up with her? A few seconds later, Maki comes out of the library as well. He's like, oh, hey, what's up? And Natsume is like, yo, what happened? How come you weren't in class? And he was like, you know, don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that. I just had to look something up in the library. Lying ass nigga. Here come Mei, right? Mei start, I don't know, bruh. Mei start getting a little jealous. She's like, so you weren't just in there with that girl Kiriko? Here come Maki, huh? You know niggas start lying when they hit the huh? Nigga trying to think of what to say. But he's like, huh? And he's like, nah, I wasn't with her in there. But damn, now that you mention it, she was in the library, wasn't she? Huh? Niggas start trying to play it off, bro. But cut to that night, and we get a look at Kiriko, right? She's in her room, scribbling something down, maybe doing some homework, filling out a paper. But she suddenly gets a knock on her door. And when she goes to check on the knock, Mei is at the door. Mei is like, hey, I'm Mei from next door. I made you some cookies. You trying to eat them with me? You know, she's basically just trying to, you know, be chill, I guess, be nice. And so, you know, Kiriko decides to go with her to eat the cookies. Low key, the cookies look I mean, they look kind of dry. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, she's looking at the cookies. She's like, oh, so you can, you know, make cookies in the kitchen, and you know, May kind of ignores her and starts asking questions of her own. She's like, so you're from the outside world, huh? Like, what's school like on the outside world? What's life like on the outside world? Because again, bear in mind, these people have no idea what life in the outside world is, because once again, they've been stuck in this school since they were 3 years old. She kind of looks at her and she's like, well, I didn't attend a school. I used to be plagued by poor health, so I was homeschooled by my father. And, you know, May's kind of like, I see. Interesting. And, you know, May kind of finds common ground to relate that with. She's like, you know, I'm like that too. Like, I've been frail ever since I was a kid. And even though I managed to keep up in class, like, these days I'm just sick a lot. And she's like, I'm not gonna lie to you, my teacher told me that I'd be expelled from school if I'm not able to keep up with the classwork. And, you know, since I don't want to be separated from my friends, I just, you know, try to do my best. I'm not gonna lie. That's crazy, bro, because they're the ones making her sick with the drugs. And so now they trying to expel her for being sick is crazy, bro. But anywho, they keep talking. And, you know, she's like, so why did you, you know, come to this school, Kiriko? Like, what brought you to this school? And Kiriko's like, well, I was actually bought here. Like, it wasn't necessarily my choice to be here. Kind of like you guys, I'm not necessarily normal either. Man's like, okay. And then she's like, hey, my friend Maki said something, by the way. He said he met you like a long time ago, and you know, he claims that you were at the school once. But that's cap, right? Like, you weren't at this school, right? And she's like, yeah, bro, that nigga tweaking, bro. I wasn't at this school. Must have been a mistake on his part. Lying ass, bro. Lying ass. But then she's like, hey, May, I still don't really know my way around the school yet. How about you, you know, show my way around the school? You know, kind of just show me what's going on here, get me used to the routines. You want to do that for me? And of course, May, being the nice young lady that she is, she does it. Hold on. Paranormal, catch this time. I'm gonna give you a minute as a warning. Stop saying weird shit, bro. The next day, we're back in class, right? Kiriko is kind of in a class by herself, right? She's with one of the administrators, and the administrator's like, look, we're going to put you back in regular classes tomorrow. Just complete your subject registration, blah, blah, blah. Submit your aptitude test, and, you know, we'll get you back in these regular classes. Dude's like, do you have any questions? Once again, dead silent. Doesn't say anything. We cut to the principal's office, and the dude who was just talking to Kiriko is giving a report back to the principal. He's like, yeah, that Kiriko girl, you know, she's taking her studies seriously. I'll give her that. But, you know, she's still like not really communicating, not really saying where she's from. Like, you know, she's kind of, you know, playing it safe, not saying anything. The principal's like, okay, that's expected. Have you found anything from her background investigation yet? Dude's like, yeah, no, we weren't really able to find much. She's kind of off the grid even after she left, but we were able to figure out that she shared an apartment with a man and a woman in Tokyo a couple years back. You know, the principal's like, okay, who did she share this apartment with? The administrator's like, yeah, that we don't know, but the apartment was demolished, so we can't really go searching for evidence, and so, yeah, we don't really have any information on who she was with. The principal's like, damn, all right, well, continue your investigation. We cut to that night, and, you know, we're looking down the halls, and we see Maki's room. You know, he kind of quietly opens the door and sneaks out to go visit Kiriko. Or to go meet up with Kiriko, rather, right? Like, meet her on the staircase, like she had said to do. He walks up this staircase, right, and he's kind of quiet. You know, he looks a lot more serious, but when he looks up at the top of the stairs, You're forgiven, paranormal. When he looks up at the top of the stairs, he sees Kiriko looking back down at him. I don't know really like what's going on with these two, just like staring at each other, trying to have like an aura off or something. But they need to stop being weird and just like lock in and figure out how to escape this school. But, you know, they walk up. Not they walk up. Maki walks up the staircase, right? And he gets to Kiriko, right? Starts trying to press her, bruh. Big tall ass nigga. And she's like, hey, shit, I didn't even think you would come here. And Maki was like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't think I was finna come here either, bro. I was not finna come here. And, you know, he's kind of confused. He's like, and also, on that note, why the fuck would you want to even meet me in this weird ass little like school tucked away up on top of the staircase in the first place? Like, why do you want to meet here? She's like, simple. This place has no surveillance camera. You know, the other day I was walking around the school checking the surveillance cameras. And so, you know, I kind of got a feeling of like where these cameras are and how to avoid them. She's like, I also did like, you know, patrols, or started to understand when these people patrol. And so I also, you know, got that locked in as well. There's one patrol on nighttime at 10 a.m. and another patrol at 2 a.m. Maki's like, surveillance cameras? And she's like, yeah, they got surveillance cameras all over the school building. And he's like, yeah, those are for security reasons. And, you know, once again, Kiriko's like, trust me, bro. They are not worried about intruders getting in, right? Those cameras aren't to make sure people aren't getting in. They're to make sure people aren't getting out. But she's like, anyway, let's get down to business. Check this out. She pulls out this paper, she pulls out a flashlight, and she puts it on the desk. She's like, so I've tried to make a little brief sketch of the school building's layout, right? He's like, the girls' dormitories are over here. The boys' dormitories are over here on the other side of the school. But since I'm a girl, I'm not allowed to go over there. That's where you come in. And she basically wants him to like go on surveillance, right? Figure out where all the security cameras are. Basically find the cracks in the, basically like, you know, find the little cracks in the security on the boys' side of the school, right? Because that's like the boys' dormitory is the one side of the school that she can't explore since she's a girl. But yeah, he's like, so you want me to find the security cameras? And she's like, yeah, there's one more thing though. I need you to deposit a certain object at these certain places at a certain time, but I'm gonna get more into that later. You know, all you have to do is deposit them. She's being very, very, very vague, or very vague about what it is exactly that she wants him to do. But yeah, Maki, he notices this vagueness, and he's like, bro, what is it that you're trying to do, bro? What's going on? And she's like, I told you, I'm busting out of here. And Maki's like, bro, that's impossible, bro. Like, look, you're not doing it. And Kiriko's like, look, again, I'm not like you, bro. I'm different, bro. I'm not like one of you students who have been stuck in the school their whole life. I got out of here before. I've done my homework. I've secured my escape route. I could do it again. She's like, if I can get off campus and get to the city, they're not even going to come after me. If I can escape to the city, I'm good. And he's like, so shit, if you're really that girl, like if you're really tough like that, how did you even get caught in the first place? And she's like, it was just bad luck. Some friends of mine were arrested for shoplifting and I just happened to be with them, and yeah, just stuff outside of my control. Maki's like, your friends? And she's like, yeah, friends. Well, they're kind of more like relatives to me. And she's like, if they realize, if I'm stuck in here and I really can't escape and they figure out that I'm stuck in here, they're going to come bust me out of this bitch. But I don't want them to endanger themselves like that. And so, you know, I can't afford to lose any time. I'm getting out of here. She then goes on to talk about May. She's like, oh yeah, I talked to your homegirl May last evening. And, you know, she's like, yep, as I thought, she doesn't remember me, but low key, she's still the same girl that I remember from back in the day. Maki's like, oh, you remember May? And she's like, yeah, I remember she was always, you know, glazing you, tagging along with you. And, you know, it seems like even now, 12 years later, she still is. Maki's like, yeah, May is kind of the youngest among us. She's kind of sickly. You know, I can't just leave her by herself, right? Like, I got to be there for her. And Kiriko's like, right. I don't know if she just doesn't give a fuck, I think. But she's like, anyway, I told you all I need to tell you for now. We'll talk again later. I'll hit you up later. And, I'm counting on you to do what we talked about, find those security cameras and deposit those certain objects. The next day, we cut to breakfast time that next morning. And Maki, he's eating his breakfast, but he's looking at the pills that they put out for him. He's starting to look at them a little differently. He's like, shit, if these drugs really do produce the side effects that she said, my color vision is probably one of the side effects that they produced. Like, now that I think about it, these don't even feel like my natural eyes. Like, something feels off. And then he's like, shit, if my eye condition is caused by these drugs, like, what else can be caused by these drugs? Like, I didn't even peep it until now. But has May always been this pale and sickly? And so he decides to take his pills. He decides not to take them. He shoves them into his pocket instead of taking them. We then, cut to probably a few minutes later, and he's talking to himself. He's like, damn, once you start doubting things, there's really no end to it, huh? And, he tries to, snap himself out of it. He's in the bathroom trying to wash his face off, and the boy Rio comes out. Rio ass tall as a bitch, bro. They need to get Rio on the court somewhere, bro. That nigga needs to be putting up mid-range jump shots. But yeah, Rio's like, hey, bro, I noticed you've been acting kind of strange these past couple days. I really just wanted to check on you. Like, did something happen? Maki's like, Rio, what do you think about this school? Just in general. Rio's like, huh? And Maki's like, they always tell us we're these chosen children to receive this advanced education so that we can lead the country one day. I mean, they've told us this since we were kids, but do you really think that's the truth? Between the two of us? The boy Rio, he has the little glasses pull up. He's like, oh, so that's what this is all about, huh? He's like, look, man, I understand that you might have the same interest in the outside world that Natsume did. And, it's not that I'm not interested in the outside world either, but, we still have some ways to go before it's our time to be in the outside world. He's like, look, we're in this school for a reason, right? They're going to prepare us for the outside world. And then once we graduate, we'll be in our next curriculum where we're integrated into the outside world. But for now, we shouldn't be worried about all that, bro. That's not the type of stuff we're on right now. And then he's like, he basically, gives us a pretty interesting little tidbit of information, right? The excuse that they're given as to why they're restricted on information from the outside world is because, apparently the administrators tell them that there's just a whole bunch of, useless information floating around at the outside world that I guess is unbecoming for prodigies like them. At least that's the excuse that they're given. Maki's like, I know, but man. And Rio's like, bro, what are you getting at, bro? You about to break out too? And Maki's like, I don't know, man. It's just been on my mind. Been on my mind a lot lately. As he's walking out the bathroom, that nigga Rio's like, hey, you and that Kiriko girl, did something happen between the two of you recently? That nigga Maki, he stops in his tracks. He kind of turns around. He's like, what makes you ask? What's going on? And Rio's like, I mean, you mentioned something about her earlier. You've been kind of acting weird ever since she showed up on campus. I'm just checking on you, my boy. And Maki is like, no, Cap. Maki's like, no, this doesn't have anything to do with her. We don't even really talk that much anyway, Cap. And Rio's like, okay, my fault. It's just, I noticed something when I passed her in the hallway. She has this strange sort of aura that I just can't really describe. Maki's like, damn, this nigga Rio is smart as shit, bro. He almost found me out. He has a really sharp intuition. But then he's like, if his intuition is so sharp, why hasn't he been able to notice any the weird stuff that's going on at this school? But then, as he's going back to his room, he's like, well, maybe the sharpness of his intuition is an effect of the drugs as well. And he kind of just flops back onto his bed, right? He's like, yo, I don't know what to believe, bro. I don't know what's going on. This whole thing is just overwhelming to him. He cuts back, he kind of flashes back to Kiriko talking to him earlier when Kiriko was like, yeah, let's run away from here together. At least that's what I said back in the day. And he's like, I can't remember her saying that back then. And he's like, Shit, was I gonna run away with her 12 years ago? Head starts fucking up again. Head starts going numb. He's like, damn, why can't I remember my own past? I want to remember, but I just can't. We cut to that night. And like up the stream, by the way, if you haven't already, we're, you know. But we cut to that night, and we're back at our little meeting. She's like, tonight's the night. We're busting out this bitch. She puts two, this little, like, it almost looks like a gift bag, right? But she drops this little bag on the ground, and she puts it in front of Maki, and Maki's like, yo, what the hell are these? Like, what's going on? Kiriko looks at him. Oh, they're bombs. bro, Kiriko is tweaking, bro. But she's like, all right, you know the plan. You take care of the boys section of the dormitories, right? You put the bombs on your side of the dormitory. I'll put the bombs on my side of the dormitory. And Maki's like, whoa, bombs? Yo, where the fuck did you get bombs from? And Kiriko's like, yo, shh, like, okay, you gonna scream? Like, what the fuck? And she's like, I made them. And he's like, you made bombs in the dorm? How? And she's like, I mean, it's really simple. Like, you can make them with, basic household supplies that you can find around here. And then she's like, relax, though. They're not like actual bombs. They don't have gunpowder in them or anything. They're basically just supposed to make a big, loud, scary noise. Like, essentially, it's more accurate to call them like flashbangs, right? She made flashbangs, essentially. But yeah, bombs would have been crazy, bruh. But she's like, all right, anyway, put them in different places around the building. Just kind of scatter them. They don't really, have any special timing mechanism. So, yeah, just put them down and dip. And she said, yeah, it's your job to place these two bombs behind this and this pillar in the boys' dormitory. She, like, shows him this map that she's holding that she drew out of the school. And she's like, put them exactly in these places because the camera won't be able to detect them there. Maki's like, yo, you're dead ass right now? You're actually having me put bombs around the school? And she's like, what, you scared? Like, bro, I already told you, bro. You're going to be cool. You're going to be fine. Just don't let the camera spot you. And, I don't think anyone will get hurt either. Maki's like, just dead silent, bro. He's damn near in shock. And she's like, yeah, I low-key feel bad for making you my accomplice in this tweak-ass plan, but you're probably going to forget me once I'm gone. So, it's no harm, no foul, basically. And then she starts walking away. She's like, now hurry up. She's like, now hurry up and put those bombs where I said to put them, or else them shits are finna blow up on you. Maki, he looks at her as she's walking off, looks back down at the bombs. He's like, yo, am I really gonna do this, bruh? Am I really gonna fold? This nigga folds. This nigga grabs the bombs and gets to sprinting, bro. Nigga grabs the bombs and gets to sprinting. He runs around the school building, right? Back to the boys section of the dormitory, right? Puts the one bomb down behind where the camera won't see it. Boom, boom, boom. Puts the other bomb down, right? He's like, as he's doing this, right? He knows he's tweaking. He's like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? Why the hell am I doing this? Like, it's never this deep. Like, this girl is low-key just using me, bro. She basically manipulated me into becoming her tool. And it's like, yeah, kind of a little bit, but at the same time, this is 100% of your doing, bro. Like, you're the one who decided to go through with this. You did not have to, so, don't try to pin that on her, bro. You're the one who, I don't know, started tweaking out, bro. So, don't try to pin that on her all the way. She's tweaking for sure, but it's not her fault. And then, he's wondering, though, as he's running around, he's like, yo, what if everything she said was a lie, bro? What if she's literally just capping and I'm putting these bombs around the school for no reason, bro? But before he has time to really even think about it that much, the time comes and the bombs suddenly go off. All right, now these bombs go off, right? They make this loud ass explosion noise around the school. And, everyone kind of comes out their dorms, right? They're like, yo, what the fuck? What was that noise, right? Like, it's a bunch of commotion in the hallways now. Same thing goes on in the girls' side of the dormitory, right? These big, boom, explosions go off. And everyone's kind of wondering, like, yo, what's going on? What were these loud sounds? Again, you got to remember, weird stuff don't really be happening like that at this school. So, Yeah, it's pretty shocking to say the least. The boy Rio, I thought he was an administrator, but the boy Rio, he tries to take charge. He tries to take control. He's like, everybody chill out. We're cooling, like, cool it, bro, cool it. And then, security and administrators come through. They're like, we're investigating the cause. Everybody get the fuck back in your rooms until further instruction. These security guards start walking around, right? They're like, what? There was an explosion on the 4th floor? What, the south wing? There's like all these explosions going off all these explosions going off in the school at once. Like, yo, what the hell is going on? And then we get a look at Kiriko, and in the midst of the madness, the midst of all, all that's going on, all of the commotion, basically, she kind of uses that commotion to like slip off a little bit, right? Disappear and, go handle escaping. We get sort of a flashback, and it's her when she was younger. She's like out there, and this was 12 years ago, right? They're about 16, 17, so she was probably 4 or 5, but she's out there playing around on the playground, and she's like, I'm gonna run away from here. Turns out she was talking to Maki, and Maki was like, you're gonna run away? Well, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do after you run away? Kiriko's like, I don't know, but I don't feel like staying here any longer. Like, something weird is going on. We cut back to the present. Kiriko is already outside, right? She's sneaking around the building, making her way out the building, trying to make her way off campus. But as she hits the corner, Maki comes behind her, and he's like, yo, there's still guards over there. If you want to get to the woods to get out of there, you should probably go that way, the opposite direction that you're going. Kiriko's confused. She's like, what are you doing out here? Like, your section of the job is finished. Like, what's going on? Why are you out here trying to help me? And apparently the sound of the bombs jogged Maki's memory. And he's like, I remember now. I remember everything about you. He's like, the last time you ran away from here, there was a similar big explosion in the middle of the night and put like the whole school in a commotion. And, that's when you kind of dipped out of here. And I was, and at this point, I'm thinking like, okay, Kiriko is trying to, this is basically a reveal that Kiriko is basically trying to run the same plan back that she used 12 years ago. But yeah, he's like, during the chaos, you slipped through the woods all by yourself. And she's like, yeah, that's what happened. I spent the whole night wandering through the woods. And, Maki, as they're going, he's walking up to the woods with her. He's like, are you really going to try to run away? Like, are you really going? And Kiriko's like, of course I'm going, bro. We already made it this far. I'm busting out of here. She turns to look at him, right? She holds out her hand. She's like, once again, she's like, let's run away from here together. And as this is going on, Maki is sort of having like this flashback to when she did it last time, right? It's almost like a parallel, right? Little girl Kiriko is holding her hand out, and she's like, let's run away from here together. Now we get this sort of scene, it's like half a flashback, half a parallel. It's like the present and the past at the same time. It's pretty cool. But, she's holding her hand out for him to run away. And Maki, he reaches his hand out, right? But just before he does, he's like, nah, I can't. I can't run away. I'm sorry. Kiriko's like, yeah, I expected that. You don't have it in you to leave May and all the rest of your friends behind, and I respect that. But me, on the other hand, I'm getting out of here. And she turns and runs away. And, Maki kind of watches her run off into the distance and, before going back into the school. We cut to the inside of the school, and we see this security guard, right? Pretty serious looking security guard. He got like a scar. I think he's like the head security guard, right? He got one of those fancy ass hats, bro. The little floppy joints, the colonel hats. But, the principal's talking to him through his little camera again. He's like, did you find the cause of the explosions? And he's like, yeah, it was this. And he kind of holds up a piece of the leftover bottle bomb. The principal's like, I can't really see it through this camera, so why don't you come into my room and show that to me in person? And so, yeah, he does just that. He opens up the door, and he walks into the principal's office. His office within the office, right? Like the actual in-person principal, because you already know how this principal is. Nigga don't want to show his face. Nigga wants to be Mr. Mysterious. And so, yeah, this security guard is speaking to the actual principal. The security guard is, yeah, okay. I thought I skipped a page, but no. The security guard is like, he kind of gives him a debriefing. He's like, these bombs were just like simple little devices that were made using plastic bottles. Nothing special, kind of just like a children's science experiment, low key. But we've collected all of them, and, I don't think we're dealing with anything crazy. I don't think we're dealing with a crime. Honestly, it's probably just a little prank, bruh. Like, just a student fucking around. But we went to check the security cameras, and, yeah, the security cameras didn't catch anything. We get a close look at the principal. He looks ominous, right? Like, he doesn't look too imposing. He doesn't look super, like, scary or anything. But at the same time, he just looks like a little off, right? He looks weird. He looks ominous. I feel like ominous is the best word to describe it. But the principal, he already knows what's going on, right? He's like, the culprit, the person who did this, yeah, they're no longer in the building. Strengthen the outer security perimeter, bro. Someone's trying to break out of here. And then he's like, if my memory is serving me correctly, I feel like we had a very, very, very similar incident happen more than 12 years ago. Cut to the woods. My girl Kiriko, she's booking it, bro. She's trying to get up out of there. As she's running, she hits the typical horror movie character, anime MC or anime character, trip at the worst possible moment. Boom, she eats shit, right? I don't know what the fuck she tripped over. Now is not the time to be tripping. But as she trips, right, we get this flashback. And, I think this is a flashback to her before she was at the school, but after she had left. I think this is like right before she had gotten taken back to the school. And, we see this person. We don't get to see the person's face, but the person's telling her like, hey, if you want to leave, leave. And, Kiriko just looks hurt by hearing that. But then we cut to the present and we're kind of hearing her thoughts, right? She's like, I'm coming back, Nagi, right? She's saying this name Nagi again. She's like, I will do anything just to see you again. And she picks herself back up and starts running through the woods. She's running. She runs all the way to the end of the woods. And then she hits the gate. And the gate is locked. All right? Just beyond this gate is where she needs to be. If she can get out through this gate, then she's good. She's staring at the gate, looking at it, and she pulls a bobby pin out of her hair, right? Starts trying to pick the lock, right? She's hacking it. Boom. The lock pops open. But as she's picking this lock, she sees two lights come up behind her, right? Like two flashlights. Principal says strengthen the outer security perimeter. They got people doing patrol now on the outer perimeter. She's thinking like, damn, this was a lot easier back in the day when I was smaller. Now I really have to lock in. She turns around. She's like, oh shit, are those guards here already? Boom, 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 boom. She's fiddling around with the lock. Boom, finally cracks it open. But right when she's about to escape out that bitch, freeze. She like, yeah. They like, yeah, you thought, Kiriko Hinatsu, huh? I heard about you. Yeah, don't move a muscle. We can look at the security guards. These niggas got the blister pointed at her, bruh. They like, nah, you not leaving today, bro. You getting your ass back in that school building. But nah, they're like, look, we don't want to hurt you, so, you're under arrest. Like, let's go. You're coming back. Kiriko is like, why does a simple school security guard need to carry a goddamn firearm? And the dude is like, come on, bro. We're not security guards, bro. We belong to we belong to the pharmaceutical company's private army, bro. But, yeah. So she's like, an army? What the fuck? And the guard, nigga low-key spilling all the information. The guard's like, yeah, I mean, the official records say we're school security guards, but yeah, we're actually a private army. I mean, low-key, we are security guards, but we just gotta, also become an army when tweak-ass students like you start doing shit. Kiriko is like, aren't you, telling me a bit much here? Like, why are you giving me all this information? And the guard is like, hey, don't even worry about that, bruh. Don't even worry about that. You'll be forgetting it soon enough. That's what we got for today, for the first little experiment with this format, this style. That's what I got for y'all today. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling about it? How y'all feeling about it? Um, yeah. We're about, based on my estimation, based on my estimation, it would probably take maybe anywhere between 4 and 6 streams to finish this story. And so if y'all are rocking with it, I'm rocking with it. We might have to hit a little part 2 next week. You know, just depending on how we're doing. But yeah, I'm gonna keep the VOD up. You know, I'm just gonna see how that does. If people want to watch it, they can watch it. Where do I find this manga? I just dig, bro. I do a lot of digging. Same time tomorrow, you're tripping, bro. Same time next week at best. But yeah, I don't want to say too much more. I'm gonna get out of here. The VOD's gonna be up for those of y'all who came late, maybe want to see the whole story, so on and so forth. We will probably give this another try next week, and just see what's going on. I had fun though. My throat's a little hoarse from talking for that long, but I enjoyed it. And so yeah, thank you all for popping by, for stopping by, and leave a comment on the video if you want, just talking about how much you fuck with the format, the story, and yeah, watch the Bungo Stray Dogs video I just uploaded. Also, I think y'all will like that as well. And yeah, have a good rest of your Friday, a good evening. Next stream, if I decide to do the next one, it'll probably be a bit longer than this one. This was just like the pilot episode, right? But thank you all for popping out. Do I have anything else? Like the stream once again before we get out of here. And yeah, I'm a bounce.